Every node on Iagon's network is a native token on Cardano, which I think probably not a lot of people are even aware of. And those tokens like act as like a registration certificate for the node and stores details about the node that we want to kind of ensure are immutable and verifiable on chain. And same goes for every delegation position. They're all tokens. They're all like registration tokens.
Sam, we've kind of went that same route with regulation, right? And is that the reason why? Is that what you foresee too? Kind of like you're not going to see big adoption without following the regulations?
Yeah, well, I think like my background is in financial services. So I'm trained as an economist originally, but I also spent some time working as a management consultant. We used to work with the biggest banks and insurers out there. So the lens that I come from, and there are several members in the team who also have that sort of training. Like we're sort of used to the fact that we have to work with regulators. A lot of the projects we used to work on at Oliver Wyman were risk related. We're working with the financial service regulators in different jurisdictions, central banks. You can't really operate your business without licenses or without compliance. So we're sort of coming from a background where you have to do that. And then the interesting thing for us is in the commodity space, it's very highly regulated. You can't really import and export physical goods without the right documentation, without the right proof of records, proof of origin. So firstly, we didn't have a choice. But secondly, there's just a huge gap in terms of plugging all these pieces together. And just to also comment on something Dr. Navjit said before was like some of the stuff we're working on right now, many projects that attempted to do it in like 2017, 2018. And it's only now that because we were observing what was being done all those years and have started or have been doing it for the last year or two, we do have a lot more optionality in terms of what we can use from a technology point of view. And for us, like with supply chain tracking and credentials, it turns out that UTXO based systems are the best way to go. It's, inputs, outputs, you have buckets of honey that transform into drums, right? There's transformations and aggregation events and whatnot. So it's worked out really well. And many of our competitors who had maybe had that first mover advantage started off on private Ethereum networks and now in a position where they either have to, completely scrap it and build again or just keep building with the system that they have. But permissioned Ethereum sort of EVMs they're not as popular anymore, right? Like we have lots of different alternatives. Like, you could build on L2s. We're seeing World Mobile, build their own L3. You've seen projects like Iagon port over to Cardano and to make most of the cost economics on that side as well as the security. So it's just to answer the bit on regulation, like we don't really have a choice. We have to comply. Otherwise, we aren't able to operate in the markets and provide the solutions that we want. And then I sort of really resonated with what Dr. Navjit said around the Cardano stuff, because it is mature now. And I think with L2s coming out in the next however long it'll take, it'll just only get better, at least for problems that we're trying to solve, where we no longer need to batch different transactions together, and we can just do everything at the event level.
Yeah, and if I can build on that, mentioning UTXO and stuff, like our delegated staking is a really good example of that, really. Cardano's like extended UTXO approach and native asset minting kind of makes our on-chain operations a lot smoother than they would be on EVM without some like headache of a UTXO simulation approach or like over-engineered smart contracts to compensate, right? Every node on Iagon's network is a native token on Cardano, which I think probably not a lot of people are even aware of. And those tokens like act as like a registration certificate for the node and stores details about the node that we want to kind of ensure are immutable and verifiable on chain. And same goes for every delegation position. they're all tokens. They're all like registration tokens. Yeah, so every node and every node's IAG token pledge is stored inside a UTXO with the node's token, and same goes for the delegated staking side. So you can always tell who owns the staked IAG by the address information that's recorded in the token's metadata, right? And we're able to kind of take multiple actions within a single transaction, like minting a node token and depositing their stake all at once for incredibly low fees, all inside of one transaction. So there's a big benefit there for UTXO usage, and we can also track all the delegated stake that in a single address on chain, because they all have their own UTXOs that they're living in on that address. So things just kind of work a lot smoother and smarter and more securely on Cardano.